Hey folks, in a previous video we went over render targets in 1 minute. I'll put a link below. Then I got a question for how do you create this cool mini map in the upper right hand corner? Not only are we going to cover how to create that cool mini map, but you might want to even try different game mechanics with it. How so? Well, you could make it interactive. Case of this open the door, if you get close enough and you press 2 key, you get a hint on how to open the gate. Oh, you press E to open the gate. Well, let's try that. All right, that worked. Great, so that's what we're gonna go over in today's video. All right, so let's build this out from scratch. What are we gonna do? We're gonna make a material instance with a render texture in it. We also are going to create a widget, which will have an image in it, and then we're going to hook it all up. We'll use the first person blueprint, and we'll create a render target camera in there that will capture the information and send that through the material. So just right click, type material, we'll call this my HUD mat, and we'll click that, and we're going to drop a render target into that. So render target, let's see, make sure that it actually dropped in. We'll hook this into the emissive, and we need this to be, we need the domain of this to be a user interface so that it actually feeds correctly. It's the correct data type. Okay. So, and then it also, in order for it to be interactive, usually needs to be a material instance. We'll just call this MI HUD material instance. Okay, great. Now let's save often, go in, we'll create a widget, type widget. So widget blueprint, a user widget. We'll call this my HUD widget. And we need to add a canvas panel, and then we need to specify how big we want that panel to be. So canvas, drop that in, and we want the size to be something custom, like 500 by 500, and we want to, what we want to be in there is an image. So we'll say image, and we'll just drop that in there, and then we can just dial in how big that image is, and we want that to fill out. So since we know it's 500 by 500, there we go. And what image? The brush will be the material instance. Yeah, so there it is, the my HUD material instance. Awesome. All right, we're on the road to getting this done. And the third step is to hook it all together into the blueprint. So the first person blueprint, go into the BP first person character. And what we want to do is we want to create the scene capture component that will capture the information. So capture, scene capture component 2D. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, we've created this camera, and in order for it to be capturing the information we want it to be rotated and aimed down. And yeah, we can make it about 400 units up. And then we'll make it modifiable to jump like over 1,000 units more. Then we also need to put in like what is the target texture. So, whoops, my HUD, render target, 2D, a new texture. There it is. Great. And then the final step is to add the interactivity. And also, before we can even add the interactivity, we actually have to add it to the viewport in the event graph. So we'll just say event begin play. There it is. And we can say create my widget, and the widget that we're going to create, I'm going to hit the Q key to line this up. So my HUD widget, great, and then you have to add that to the viewport. You can have hit F7 to compile just to make sure it's working, and add to viewport. Awesome. Hit the Q key, widget added to view. And then we want to set up the interactivity. So you can bind a key to that. So something like keyboard. I had the key to bind, and I had it just flip-flop between two heights, but you can do something more if you wanted. So I use the flip-flop node. So it'll go up, and then you hit the same key, it'll go back to the original spot. We will be modifying that scene capture component. So we'll drag that as a variable, and we'll just set the relative location. The relative location is the space inside the viewport here. So set relative location. So the relative location, and really we're just modifying the Z attribute. We'll have this twice. And the first time you push the button, you want to set it to the higher value from where it was. So I think it was at 400, so something like 1400. So jump it up 1,000 units. And just to keep this simple, we'll duplicate this. We will connect it again to the target, and we will just drop it to 400 units. And then we could play some sound effects. So play sound 2D. To keep this simple, we'll just play one sound. So here's some sounds. All right, some camera sounds. That works. All right, let's test this. Move HUD camera. So I just hit the C key to do that. Compile, and we can hit play. All right. I didn't set the location. Our HUD is on the other side right now, but let's double check. We hit the 2 key, and it works. Great. Let me just explain before we sign off really where the anchor is set. So we could try something like that and have it anchored differently. So like right now it's set to 0, 0, 0. Awesome. Let's just see what it looks like. Set to the other side. Yep, there we are. Great. Well, that'll wrap things up. It's a great and easy way to set up your HUD mini-map. So if you like the video, give it a like and make sure you subscribe for more weekly Unreal content.